Hello fellow football connoisseurs and welcome back to the Quick Take. I hope you're all doing well. We have some major news, of course. We had the update from Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein coming in that the future of Kylian Mbappe was away from PSG, and this now has major ramifications for Chelsea going forward. Of course, our pursuit for Victor Osimhen is now hanging in the balance. Reece James is set to return soon. We'll get into that in just a minute. Conor Gallagher, we have an update regarding his contract demands, We also have an update regarding the one and only Xabi Alonso and Chelsea's chances signing him or getting him at the bridge come the summer. And we also have an update regarding more additions to the backroom staff and more additions coming from Brighton. But before I get into that, I'd just like to quickly remind you, at 15,000 subscribers, I'm giving away 3 King of London lightsabers. All you have to do is subscribe to enter and check the pin comment down below for more information. Now getting into the video, we start off with the Victor Osimhen news, and of course this coming in as I'm about to finish up the Victor Osimhen video. Victor Osimhen figures prominently on Paris Saint-Germain list to replace Kylian Mbappe. PSG preparing for possible exit since the summer, stepped up multiple discussions in January to be ready for June. 25-year-old Napoli striker, strong contender. Big news. Of course, Chelsea have been working on a deal for Victor Osimhen for a while now. We've been in constant talks with his camp. He does have a release clause, and Chelsea have shown that they are not afraid to spend big when it comes to players like Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo and even Wesley Fofana. And we did think that Victor Osimhen would be the nailed-on striker, but this Mbappe news, him leaving on a free transfer, has really scuppered our chances, because although he is a Chelsea fan, and although the likes of John Obi Mikel and Didier Drogba have been whispering in his ear, trying to convince him to join Chelsea for the better part of a year now, especially at AFCON, Didier Drogba was all around him. And of course, John Obi Mikel had him on the podcast, the Obi-Wan podcast. It does look like we're going to face tough competition from PSG. Now, we may have a slight advantage, as I said, he is a Chelsea fan, he wants to play in the Premier League. However, when it comes to wage demands and the best move for his career in terms of competing for the biggest trophies in the world and getting that resume of being a winner, I think he'd have a better chance at the moment of doing that at PSG. And it hurts me to say that, but where Chelsea are right now, we're obviously not in a place where we can really challenge for the Champions League anytime soon with the current predicament with the club is going, with the strategy of signing young, leading to an unbalanced squad, which leads to inexperienced and infrequent wins, which leads to us not really getting much points on the table. We are in the Carabao Cup final and we are still in the FA Cup, but we still haven't won those competitions. And even if we do, that doesn't guarantee us Champions League football. Also, Chelsea are trying to reduce our wage cap as much as possible, and we did hear news yesterday that Raheem Sterling, of course, Chelsea's biggest expenditure in terms of wages per week, is being looked at being moved on come the summer. Of course, hopefully Saudi come in, because they're one of the few clubs, along with PSG, that could handle his wages with ease. This is where Chelsea may falter. Again, Victor Osimhen, he may see PSG as a more likely prospect of winning a major trophy sooner in his career. He's 25 years old, he's about to enter his prime, so he'd want to be competing in the Champions League and in those big competitions right here, right now. I don't think he can really afford to wait a year or two or even 3 years, as I think it might take before we get into that position yet again of competing at the highest level. They can offer far higher wages than us and basically blow us out of the water. And so we may pursue other options, such as Benjamin Šeško, such as Ivan Toney, such as Victor Gyökeres, someone who's actually having a fantastic season. I mean, this season alone, in 30 games, he's got 28 goals and 11 assists. That's 39 goals and assists in 30 games. That's just this season. Absolutely unbelievable what he's doing over there in Portugal under Ruben Amorim. Fantastic player. 100 million euro release clause. He would have lower wage demands than Victor Osimhen. It may be an easier deal to pull off. Of course, I did mention Šeško. Chelsea met with his agents, I think, last year, and he does have a 50 million euro release clause, and his wage demands will be even lower. So that's if we want to go for the cheap option, then Šeško's there. I did also mention Ivan Toney, but apparently in the backroom staff there is divided opinion regarding Ivan Toney, but we'll see how it goes. But it does look like Victor Osimhen may be out of reach of Chelsea if PSG are going to push heavily. But we move on to the Reece James news, and it is positive news at last, coming in from The Athletic, Simon Johnson. Breaking news, Reece James is targeting a return to full training within a month and wants to be a part of Chelsea's run-in, although the club are mindful of rushing him back. Unless we go very far in the FA Cup, and unless, you know, in the last few games, if we are actually in a position where we can get Europa League football or we can get Champions League football, God forbid. But if we are in that position, then I would say, you know what, risk it. But if not, and if it's just a case of, listen, we're going to end mid-table anyway, I'd say just let him continue training with the team, get him back up to scratch, but allowing himself to feel how his body feels, how his hamstring feels, obviously after the injury, not rushing him back, because the last thing we need is another Reece James injury, and making sure that he is all fit and ready to go come the start of next season. I mean the very start, I mean the first training session of the preseason. It'll be very important to have a player like Reece James, the club captain, back in the midst going into next season, which will be a very pivotal season for Chelsea Football Club. But that's not the only news we have today. No, I also have an update regarding Xabi Alonso, of course, the Bayer Leverkusen head coach, doing fantastic things this season, undefeated in all competitions. This coming in from Dean Jones Soccer via Give Me Sport. Here we go. Chelsea wouldn't be fearful of going head-to-head with Liverpool to secure the signature of Xabi Alonso if the Blues were to sack Mauricio Pochettino. Now, we may actually have a slight chance here, although we have signed everyone and everything from Brighton, and that may include another manager following Graham Potter. Of course, Robert De Zerbi is being linked to the move away from Brighton come the summer transfer window. It does also look like Liverpool are interested in Robert De Zerbi, and who knows, maybe Robert De Zerbi is a better fit for Liverpool, and maybe they see the squad they have right now, they see their vision going forward, and they think, you know what, maybe De Zerbi is the guy for us, and then we have not a free shot, but we have a chance, a slight chance of getting Xabi Alonso. Let us hope. I know it's like 1% chance, 99% faith. Just imagine a world where that happens. Robert De Zerbi to Liverpool, Thomas Tuchel to, I don't know, Manchester United. I wouldn't want it to happen, but it does look like he's leaving at the end of the season. And then, of course, Xabi Alonso to Chelsea, who I actually think would be a fantastic fit. And I'm actually planning on doing another in-depth video. I'm working on a lot behind the scenes. Of course, I was working on the Osimhen one, but I don't know if that's going to go out now, because what if he goes to PSG? But maybe that's a video I could do, comparing Xabi Alonso, how he get on at Liverpool and how he get on at Chelsea, and deciding which would be the actual better fit in terms of the squad he's got, the vision the club has, and the philosophy the players have been embedded with. But we move on to an upgrade regarding Conor Gallagher. I don't want this video to drag on too long, so I'm going to try and get through this a bit quicker. This coming in from Ben Jacobs. Conor Gallagher is seeking similar terms to Moises Caicedo, around £150,000 a week, which isn't too much. Again, he has been a big starter this season. He has been one of our better players. However, that has been under a manager who prioritizes players like Conor Gallagher, who was able to cover a lot of ground in the attacking areas, press quite well, win a lot of duels, and put his body on the line for the side. To me, he will get this money, or he will get this new contract, if we finish in European football, or if we have a strong end to the season, which is where Mauricio Pochettino will be reviewed. If Poch is moved on come the end of this season, I also think Conor Gallagher will go, and that is what the owners would like, I'm sure, as well, because they see him as pure profit. Then we can reinvest that money, into a striker, into a left back, into a centre back, you know, an area where maybe it's a little bit more vital to invest into than to keep someone like Conor Gallagher around for £150,000 a week, especially if we go for a more technical director, or a more technical, manager, like a Xabi Alonso, who prioritizes a player's technical ability over their pressing ability and their passion on the field, let's just say. Ending the video with this exclusive from Sam Wallace. Chelsea are making approach for Brighton head of recruitment for second time in 40 months, this time Sam Jewell. Now, if I am correct, I'm pretty sure Sam Jewell is the guy Brighton brought in when we took Paul Winstanley, and now it looks like we are also bringing him in. The only real opinion I have of this is they really should have just bought Brighton, because what have they done? They've done everything to turn this club into Brighton. They brought in managers, they brought in their backroom staff, they brought in the players. They should have just bought Brighton and saved themselves a couple billion quid, basically. I'm sure Sam Jewell is a fantastic scout, and whatever role he'll play, he'll probably do very well. But it's getting a bit stale now, getting everything from Brighton. I'd like a little bit of variety. Maybe pick up someone from Man City, or from Bayern, or from Real Madrid, or from Barcelona. I mean, we always keep going back to Brighton. I know Brighton are a fantastic side in terms of buying young, recruiting on low wages, and then selling them for profit. But I'd like to see a little bit more experience in terms of Champions League experience behind the scenes, just so we know that there's someone there to keep Paul and Stanley and Lawrence Stewart and the likes of those in check and remind them, hey, no, this is Chelsea Football Club. Why don't we try and actually, you know, push to win the league title? Why don't we actually try and push to win the Champions League? Why don't we, you know, raise our standards a little bit? That's what I want, but I just don't see that happening with all these additions into the backroom staff. I mean, Win Stanley, Stewart, AS Monaco, Brighton, Sam Jewell, Brighton, the new guy, Marsh, Swansea. You know, I've just got a bad feeling. But that about wraps up today's video. Again, if you like the video, like, comment, and subscribe. I've been The Quick Take, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.